which is so critical to Group A. Argentina against Paraguay. No doubt about it, the way the competition has gone, it's built up beautifully. Argentina, perhaps the pre-tournament favourites against Paraguay, who are unbeaten. They've won both their games. And the two countries are adjacent, of course. Paraguay just the north of Argentina. And Paraguay over the years have had some good results in the Copa America competition. Like Peru, they've won it twice. Argentina have won it on no fewer than 9 occasions. That's in the official Copa Americas. They've won it on 4 other occasions in the unofficial Copa tournaments as well. But generally when these two sides meet, it's Argentina that come out on top. And a betting man, I think, would put his money on Argentina this evening as well. The two sides about to take the pitch here in Concepcion. And team news for you in a moment, and there is some news tonight as well, particularly about the Argentine side. And indeed here we have the Argentina lineup, and 2 changes have been made by the coach Alfio Basile. Latorre, big things expected of him in this Copa America. He has been left out, he's not performed, and they say his mind is on going to Fiorentina. That's where he's due next season. And Franco, he's due to go to Zaragoza, and he too has been left out tonight. Neither of them make the substitutes bench even either. So the 2 players brought in this evening are Leonardo Rodriguez, who has come on as a substitute and looked pretty good in the 2 matches prior to this one. And in defence, Carlos Enrique. He comes in place of Craviotto, and there's a place too for Gustavo Zapata. Let's have a look at the Paraguay lineup. No problems here for Carlos Quisa, the coach, and it's an unchanged Paraguay lineup. Relatively inexperienced, although 2 of those players, Sanabria and Nepa, did play against Argentina 2 years ago in the Copa when there was a 0-0 draw in the Maracanã Stadium in Rio. Well, I think Paraguay will probably settle for a 0-0 draw with Argentina here as well this evening. Those are their substitutes. But as we were saying, over the years, things have generally gone Argentina's way when these 2 sides have met. Indeed, Paraguay in the Copa have never beaten Argentina. And here is confirmation of that fact. 16 times they've met. Argentina have won on 13 of those occasions, lucky 13, 8 and 3 draws. They've scored 55 goals to 15. But of course, as we've seen throughout this competition, Argentina's record just goes on getting better and better and better. They've scored 276 goals in those Copa appearances. You never know with a side like Paraguay. We've got a Uruguayan official tonight, Senor Filippi, and the linesmen are from Bolivia, and from Brazil, our old friend Senor Wright is on the line this evening. Don Howe is with me. Game we've been looking forward to with great anticipation, Don.
That's right, John. Obviously, when you're in this league basis, the final 2 games in your group become very important, because everybody's going for that 1 more point or that 2 more points. And obviously these 2 teams are both in that situation tonight, because they've both got Chile on their shoulders all the time. I'm expecting a good professional game. I mean, we know what Argentina are like. They'll be patient, they'll keep it tight at the back, they'll play it around, and they'll hope that someone like Caniggia or this young lad, Batistuta, will do as they did against Chile, break through and score the all-important goals.
Have you been excited by Batistuta, Don? He's got the 3 goals and a particularly good one against Chile.
Yes, I have, John, because for me, it's the first time in this competition that I've seen him play. And he's a good addition to this Argentina side. He makes some super runs off the ball. Obviously he can score goals. His record shows that. And he's good around the box. He's good at showing, playing 1-2s around the box. Very impressed.
So we're all set then in Concepcion for Argentina against Paraguay. Remember, both sides are unbeaten. They haven't conceded a goal yet. Something might give, it might not give. It could end up at 0-0, of course. But at the moment, Paraguay lead the group because of their 6 goals to 0 differential. There is Mr. Wright, the linesman from Brazil. Argentina have scored 4 goals without conceding any. And of course, Peru have got their first points of the Copa this evening with that 5-1 victory that you've just seen against Venezuela. But here it is with Argentina against Paraguay. And certainly both sides wanting to cement their positions in Group A. and make life even more difficult for the host nation, Chile, because that's the one that both of them must have feared could well come through. Chile winning their first 2 games, 2-0 against Venezuela, 4-2 against Peru, and then coming unstuck with that 83rd minute goal from Batistuta against Argentina. Chile with just the one remaining fixture, of course. They play Paraguay in that final game, back in Santiago. Oh, the foot diving in there.
Well, the Paraguayans are pushing on, John. I mean, they're not folding back in their own half when they lose the ball. They're prepared to go up and push on and fight the Argentinians, not let them play it out the back easy.
Now, I think their coach will have got them fairly well organised and well motivated for this one. This is Carlos Enrique rolling the ball forward. It's his first appearance of this Copa America Championships. Interesting tonight that the coach Alfio Basile has brought in a very strong River Plate connection. He's brought in Carlos Enrique, who normally plays at left back. He's brought in Gustavo Zapata from River Plate as well to link up with Astrada, his clubmate in midfield. So he really is looking very much to the club way through.
Yeah, well, we've talked about this before, John. It's an easy way to get understanding at international level. There might be good players, but if you put a lot of individuals together, it takes a long time before you can get that team understanding. If you get a block of players from one club, obviously they're used to working off each other.
Caniggia, who was going through the middle, he now plays it wide for Batistuta, who'll get the corner kick. No, he won't. In fact, it must have just brushed, yes. Sen, you're right, saying it brushed his bottom on the way past.
Yes.
It's a goal kick. As
he tried to get his cross, and it rebounded off the defender back into him.
Bench, a few anxious looks, but their coach, Carlos Kisa, hasn't tasted defeat as yet. They did meet, these two countries, back in 1966 in the World Cup qualifiers, before eventually Argentina came over here, of course, to England. And again they met in 1974, but Paraguay didn't win any of the 4 meetings. Argentina won 2 were drawn, and it's Ruggeri who gets it out. Further out from Astrada, but picked up in midfield well for Paraguay. Carlos Enrique's header. And Basualdo, good technical skills here. Basualdo given the ball back. Zapata, not really justified his selection as yet, but he's managed to find Caniggia this time, and the ball laid off for Rodriguez. This is a good move. And, well, it was the pass in from Batistuta which threatened, but once more, Paraguay had a defender, Cristaldo, there to do his job and see the ball away to safety.
It was a triangle, John. It was the Batistuta, Caniggia, and Rodriguez just sitting behind them, playing the ball off each other and making runs.
Well, they're happy enough. You'd think they were leading 3-0, wouldn't you? It's 0-0 here. But Paraguay's progress to this stage so far has been highly satisfactory, no question about that. They've beaten Peru 1-0, they've beaten Paraguay 5-0. And here they are unbeaten against Argentina, the pre-tournament favourites. Here's a header on, which is well dealt with again. Oh, that's good skill. That's beautifully done by Gonzalez. In fact, it was Monzon. Now, has he got the pace to get past Simeone here? Well, if it comes off the Argentine, it will be a corner, but he's showed good skill once more to work that ball away, and it will be a throw-in for Argentina. Simeone's he gets about a bit.
Yeah, he works well down that left side. He can play both sides. He can play kind of left midfield, or he can play right midfield. I mean, tonight he's playing left midfield. Zapata's come on the right side. They play diamond shape in midfield, John. Astrada just sits in front of the back 4. On his right he's got Zapata, on his left he's got Simeone, and then they've got Rodriguez just in front of them.
Paraguay outside the Argentine penalty area, free kick given, but against Paraguay. And Ruggeri, the captain, who's taken over from Diego Maradona. wearing the captain's armband, number 6. You just got a glimpse of him there. Generally marshalling things very well indeed. He's a good choice as a captain, I would have thought.
He's a good player, John. I mean, he makes the job look easy as a defender. He reads it well. He knows when to put his foot in. He knows when not to dive in. Doesn't get caught on 1-2s. He's a good player.
He's also a winner, of course. He won the Spanish League title with Real Madrid in the 89-90 season. He just gets sent off occasionally, twice against Uruguay in the last Copa.
He's a good competitor.
Here come Paraguay. It's their turn to come on attack. Just outside the Argentine penalty area, invitingly rolled back, not finished off. There's the player who hammered in the shot, Carlos Guiland, celebrating a 23rd birthday next week. He'd love to have celebrated with a goal there. We've only had one goalless draw so far in the championships, but it's 0-0 at the moment. Chances few and far between, as I think you would have expected. I don't think anybody was ever going to romp away with this one.
Well, obviously, there's before the game, I mean, they've both done their homework. They've seen each other play twice, and the coaches have been at the games, and obviously they've looked at tapes.
That was Zapata winning it.
And under those circumstances, they're not going to give anything away, are they?
So the throw-in taken for Paraguay by Jacquet. Man who was booked early in the game. The only booking so far. Straight up in the air from Zapata. Batistuta coming back and trying to win it as we move into the closing stages of this first half here in Concepcion, with Paraguay giving as good as they're getting. 0-0 against Argentina. Caniggia, every time he wins it, he just simply sets off like a greyhound out of the track.
Well, he's so quick running with the ball, John. I mean, most dribblers, it's change of direction, but not him. It's pure pace. It's pure knocking the ball past the defender, and with his pace, going past him. Very difficult to deal with as a defender.
Well, and there is no substitute for pace, is there? Here's Batistuta. Very much the hero in Argentina, of course, at the moment, Batistuta, after that winning goal against Chile 2 nights ago. They said that he was above the rest in the headline in the local papers there. He was the top man, in other words, and there's a rolling defender, and there's a yellow card. So the second one of the evening, and they've now been shared out equally. And there is the man who incurred the wrath of the referee. It's Vazquez. He got booked against Chile, and this is why he's got booked here tonight against Paraguay.
Well, there again, you see, he's so late. I mean, his legs out virtually straight, and he's so late. I mean, the players kind of just sidestepped him and leaving him on the floor, and he's just took his feet.
Well, those are the ones where a bad injury can occur.
Oh, yes.
Guiland, I think it was lucky to escape from that without worse injury. However, here come Paraguay with Gonzalez, another of the Olympia players in the side. That's going to be an Argentine throw-in. Taken by Basualdo. That time Batistuta wasn't able to control it. Zapata, however, did, and now Rodriguez. Moving around a little now, moving out to try his luck down the right. Though by Zapata, straight against the legs of his own man Astrada, who now has better possession and is able to ply that ball forward. Not to any great effect, however, easily intercepted by Riverola. Confirmation of the booking of Vazquez there for you. It is interesting that by our count, Astrada was booked in the first 2 matches, but he's out here again this evening, and that's the second player that's happened with. Whether they've adopted some local rule or not, it suggests that players could stay on no matter how many bookings they get in this tournament. I'm not sure. Here is Simeone of Argentina, taking the ball back from Carlos Enrique. Giving it to Astrada. Enrique now. Very much a River Plate affair down that left-hand side. Clearance is good. Well effected. Paraguay coming forward and trying to get a lot of men forward. An important ball won by Ruggeri, just took out that left leg. Estrada knocking it down, coolly played away to Simeone. Argentina extricate themselves again and come on the attack. Rodriguez, yes, brought down from behind again. And the free kick count mounts.
I don't think the public are very happy with this game, John. I think it's a stop-start game. It's a very frustrating game to watch when it gets like this, and
especially, I suppose, coming on the heels of a 5-1
there's nothing
match,
to get you
so many
excited.
chances. No,
that's right. There's nothing to get you excited. There's nothing to lift you off your seat.
No, there really hasn't been as yet. And perhaps there will be now. Argentina, on the other hand, they might not. Rather woeful header wide from Batistuta. No, and it's because one side is probably adopting a rather negative approach and the other one is just sort of going forward, hopefully, rather than really taking it by the scruff of the neck.
Well, they're not I mean, the Argentinians are obviously they are super professional, but they're not the greatest team going forward. You know, they've got their fingers crossed that someone like Caniggia can do a bit of magic.
Right. Or Batistuta, or Rodriguez, and here is Batistuta. Funny should just mention him. This could be it. It is. He does it again. And no wonder they love him back in Buenos Aires, because Gabriel Batistuta just has that knack of producing the unexpected. He gets into a position, and whenever he does, he finishes it off. You always fancy him when he gets into these situations. Lovely back flick to him, mind you.
Well, it was, but he did very well there. I mean, he had to accelerate on the outside of the defender to get into a shooting position, and then he tucked it away. It was a lovely flick. I'm almost certain it was Rodriguez again.
It was Rodriguez, and it's the perfect thing to happen for the match, because Paraguay now simply have to come out and do something.
Got to come out and play, yes.
1-0 it is to Argentina, and Batistuta's fourth goal makes him the leading scorer in Copa América 1991. He moves a goal ahead of Luis Monzon of Paraguay and Ivan Zamorano of Chile. And Batistuta, without question, has become the darling of these championships and of the Argentine fans. And he has got a masterly touch around goal.
He knows how to finish.
He knows how to celebrate.
I mean, his goal against Chile, it was a similar goal, and he went on his other side, where he picks a ball up and you can see the space past the defender on the side of the defender. Because all you've got to do is that you need to make half a yard and then get your shot in.
Let's have a look at this. Oh, yes, he did dive in a bit, didn't he? He showed the studs there. And this time the trainers are out. Not quite sure whether there was a booking or not, but the referee has booked two players, one only a couple of minutes before, and sometimes that automatically leads to the next booking. And it might well be on this occasion too. There he is. That was the one that missed Caniggia, and that was the one that didn't miss.
Well, that boy's a big, strong boy. I'm almost certain it's Riverola. And he really puts his leg out and gets his foot in.
But I think the suffering player will be all right, that man being Astrada. Psychologically now, that's a great lift for Argentina that Batistuta has given them. Crippling blow for Paraguay, have contained Argentina reasonably well for the bulk of the half, and now going maybe a goal down. Because of that man, the left of your picture, Gabriel Batistuta. 13 goals, Batman they call him in Argentina. 13 goals he procured in the Argentine season. But even more important, he's got 4 for his country. And he's only winning his 4th cap tonight. It's Gary Lineker proportions, is that?
I don't think it'll be long before you see him in Europe, Jim.
Good point. Paraguay come themselves. The ball bobbling around down that right-hand side as it's pursued by Peralta. It was Riverola, well spotted, Don.
He's a big, strong boy. I mean, he does like to put his foot in. I mean, I think he fancies taking on these Argentinians.
So Riverola and Jacquet, both booked on the Paraguayan side. And I think both justifiably too. Here come Argentina again. When they get the bit between the teeth, they look far more interested and attractive side. They do rely to such a large extent though on Batistuta and Caniggia.
Oh yeah. I mean, Caniggia, I mean, when he does that, what he does I mean, John, everybody knows Caniggia picks the ball up and he runs at defenders. But when he mixes up and plays a 1-2 in his run, so that they don't know whether he's going to run at them or he's going to play a give and go, geez, he's a handful to take care of.
This fella is too, Rodriguez. He's quite a handful. That's going to be a free kick against Mr. Batistuta, however. Foul on Cristaldo. That's the 20th foul in this first period. With just a minute of the half remaining. And it looks as though Argentina are going to go into the break a goal to the good. Thanks to Batistuta, but they have to defend now to Argentina. Paraguay going forward and the ball out by Astrada. But Argentina do get involved sometimes in unattractive matches, and the crowd was certainly letting them know just before that goal.
Up to the goal, it was a very ordinary game, John. And the goal, especially with the way it was took, has lifted the thing a little bit.
It has indeed. From Guilland, it goes back to Peralta. Paraguay trying to make inroads, and they've got a free kick against Carlos Enrique, it was. So Goycochea with a bit of work to do in the remaining seconds of the half, and there aren't many left. They tick away as Paraguay look to get back on level terms from this free kick. They've no real height in there, however. That's one of their problems, and that's going to be claimed. It's Carlos Enrique, doesn't want to give it to Goycochea, apparently. He's got the confidence to take it away, play it forward. Batistuta, they were looking for a handball, it wasn't forthcoming. He puts this one inside. Caniggia brought down 5 yards outside the area, and trouble here with Batistuta and that defender Cristaldo. Really, Caniggia just went like a bull out of a gate again there, but if he'd slipped it to his right, you'd have fancied a second goal.
Yeah, well, that's when you can be critical of him, John.
Yeah, that was the time to give the pass.
That's right, you know, he obviously his strength is running at defenders, like we said. But if every now and again he'd lift his head and look for players, especially his teammate or his playing partner up front, if he looked for Batistuta a little bit more often, he could just slide him. I mean, he makes some super position, Batistuta. I mean, he stays up with him, and half the time it's just a little square ball.
It's got to be said, it could well have been 2-0 then, and you wouldn't have fancied Paraguay to come back from that, not in 45 minutes. Because I don't think they've really troubled Goycochea at all in the first half, apart from 2 well-taken corners. It's a free kick here for Argentina. We've moved into stoppage time in the first half. Zapata is trying to block the view, I reckon, of those Paraguayan defenders by standing in front of them. Simeone's gone in there too. 4 players around the free kick, and not hot enough to beat CHILE. So it stays 1-0. And the referee blows a long blast on the whistle to say it's half-time here in Concepcion. Argentina, the pre-match favourites, are leading Paraguay by a goal to 0. The goal predictably scored by Gabriel Omar Batistuta, the Boca Juniors man who really can do no wrong at the moment. It's his 4th goal of these championships, and as a result, Argentina go away to the break leading by a goal to 0, and we will be back the second half after the break. But it is 1-0 to Argentina here against Paraguay. Man on the ball, Peralta, number 22. Made his debut against Bolivia back in June. He's winning his 5th cap tonight for Paraguay. Obviously, they've not got the experience of Argentina, although the coach has changed the Argentine side around. A lot of this team are very experienced footballers. They play at the top level, of course, every week.
That's right. John, I would think that the Paraguayans have gone into the dressing room at half-time and had a rethink. I quite like their two front players, Nefa and Gonzalez, and especially with Monzon coming through from midfield. I think that's where they ought to start and try and get things going.
They've certainly got to change it a little bit, because I don't think they got a shot in on goal particularly in the first half. They got a corner from a free kick, didn't they? But not from general play.
John, when you play against a zonal back four, the more angle runs you make, the more you will disturb that back four, because they just sit in zones, you know, and they hope that you'll sit there with them. But if you're prepared to run across defenders, then they don't know whether to go with you or hand you over to the next defender. Then you can start to create a few holes and get free from marking.
More sort of movement needed, more diagonal runs.
That's right. Nefa does it quite well.
Well, he's only a 19-year-old, Gustavo Nefa. Plays for Cremonese, of course, in Italy, so he's experienced. In fact, his side won promotion last season. On the other hand, there's a player out there this evening, Simeone, who plays for Pisa, and they were relegated, so he'll be playing in Serie B. Not a big crowd, of course, in Concepcion, not as big as it would have been in Santiago, saying that too can affect players.
Yes, it can.
But Argentina happy at the moment. They lead by a goal to nil, scored by Batistuta, who is now the leading scorer once again in these championships. He's got 4, one more than anybody else. Coming forward for Paraguay, Suarez, the ball in. Knocked out, but only back to a Paraguayan player. Picked up in midfield by Sanabria. Vidal Sanabria, another one who played the last time these sides met in the Copa America 2 years ago in Rio. So this atmosphere very much different to the one they'd get in the Maracanã Stadium, that's for sure. Hello, here we are. And, Argentina 0, Paraguay 0. He was rather exuberant.
It looks cold there,
I should have said.
It looks very cold there. I mean, the crowd are all wrapped up. It's like kind of a January day to me there. January in England, that is.
Friday night at the Hawthorns. Ball played back dangerously close to Caniggia, and Argentina snap it up anyway. That was Basualdo, forward to Batistuta, the goal scorer. And that time there were 3 of them crowding him out. His reputation will be spreading, Don. More of that in a moment, as Paraguay again can't find a way past this man. Inspirational he is too, although he's played the ball out to a Paraguayan this time as Ruggeri. Against the legs of the defender. This is Simeone, and well cleared this time by Vazquez. The one Argentine player to have been booked. It does indeed look a little bit cold. Late evening in Chile, and here, oh dear, well, he seemed to get caught in 2 minds. And the ball eventually won back by Basualdo, who brings it forward for Rodriguez. He needed a better touch to get it into Batistuta's path. And it's Suarez for Paraguay. Straight against the legs of Carlos Enrique. Oh, good play here. Inside the area, solid tackle once more. I think I'll become a member of the Ruggeri fan club tonight after this performance. He really, and there he is again, he really has done everything tonight.
Well, there you see, he stepped in. I mean, he did that in the first half about 3 times where he... I mean, the Paraguayan right back really got through to the edge of the box, and he just stepped across, put his left foot out, and won his tackle and moved out with the ball.
They look physically stronger, the Argentine players, than the Paraguayans. More of that in a moment too, and this time the tackle is good.
I think they are, John. I think, obviously, I think it's a lot to do with the quality of the football they're playing, week in, week out.
They just look bigger and stronger in everything they do. Carlos Enrique from River Plate, throw-in for Argentina, and now has been brought into the side in place of Craviotto, and he's had a fairly useful game. Not really been extended too much in defence, did one bit of good work in the first half, and enough Argentine bodies around there to win it. Rodriguez knocks it wide right. Basualdo On the ball for Argentina, clipping it forward. Here is Simeone. Nicely threaded through again. They do those little back flicks so well around the edge of the area. Simeone's shot, well, it might have won points in a rugby match. Not playing soccer, however. He's not really the best finisher.
No, but like you say, it's the little flicks that create the chances, and that's how the first goal came. What they do is they let it run kind of behind their first leg and just flick it back behind that leg into the run.
Something they've worked very hard at, the technique in training. Apparently the Argentines have been training 4 times a week since January. That's how seriously they take the Copa America. And here we see this little flick you were talking about.
Yeah, well, they run through the back of his legs, and then there he goes.
That man Rodriguez again.
You just open your stride, John, and just let it play off the... You just open your stride, and as it goes through to the right foot, you just play it back in behind your left foot.
Well, not the worst ball in, but Goycochea came from his line to claim it. The pass in was from Suarez, tonight winning his 4th cap. Played in the Libertadores Cup final. Olympia losing that, of course, to Colo-Colo from Chile. And the ball played straight. Are there many English players who you could imagine would do that, Dom? The
those
little back
tricks.
flicks around the edge of the area?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So Argentina leading here in Concepcion by that 1 goal, struck beautifully by Gabriel Batistuta in the closing moments of the first half. It's good enough to separate the sides, and Argentina won't mind if it stays exactly that way. They won't be bothered about getting a second goal particularly. They will be bothered if Paraguay get one back against them, and here's the chance! And right across the face of that area, the Argentine defender just managing to put Guilland off, and this is the best chance Paraguay have had. In fact, it's Guilland's cross in. And
it was a good cross, and to be honest, there was a push on the end of it.
Yes, there was.
I still don't think the forward had got his foot to the ball, but without a doubt, the defender pushed the forward who got in on the face of goal.
And I'm sure it will have had the object lesson there of getting the Paraguayan coach to shout to his players, come on, we can get in there, we can do it.
It's these type of balls that create goal-scoring chances.
There it was, Guilland with the ball in. Nefer trying to get in there. Well, looks as though there could have been a bit of a...
There was definitely a push.
The referees have to be strong in all South American matches, and particularly on occasions like this one. Paraguay coming forward in numbers again. Argentina just beginning to look a little bit desperate, chasing and harrying as they are. Paraguay can hold their nerve here and stroke this ball around. They might yet get something from it. Not a bad ball in. Goycochea set off from his line and then checked. Zapata to clear it eventually, but out of play. Good pressure this from Paraguay.
Yeah, they're pushing people forward. John, the midfield players are getting around that D. And they're getting the ball wide and getting crosses in. I mean, we've seen 2 crosses now in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Crowd getting behind them, although ironically I suppose the best result really for the Chilean crowd would be an Argentina victory here, with Chile due to play Paraguay in the last game. Chance of a ball in for Paraguay, but was knocked away by Rodriguez, and then it comes back to Paraguay, and they continue to mount the pressure. Nefer threading it through again. Here is the 3-goal man Monzon. That's not good enough. Easily cut out this time by Simeone, who has the onerous responsibility of wearing the number 10 shirt, the famed shirt that Maradona wore with such distinction for so long. There is Simeone. One heck of a job to follow on a player like that in the world's most favoured shirt, number 10.
Well, that's a booking. Really, I mean, that's a tackle from behind that would, I mean, that can give a player a hell of a problem.
Well, this referee doesn't seem altogether consistent to me on bookings. There was one in the first half I thought he might well have administered when he didn't.
Yeah.
Free kick here for Ruggeri to take for Argentina, who lead by 1-0. Now it's Carlos Enrique of River Plate. Never got...
I think what happens, John, is if he keeps getting his yellow card out and getting his yellow card, I think he himself thinks to himself, well, I can't keep doing this. I'm going to have to let one go every now and again.
Yeah, or else produce a red one. That's a free kick as well. In the first half, we had a number of bookings. Jacquet was the first in the book on the Paraguayan side. Vazquez followed him for Argentina. And the other player booked was Riverola. Free kick Argentina. Now Rodriguez took many of the early free kicks in that first half and then handed over the responsibility. But he takes that one to no good effect at all. And it just gives Nepa the chance to break here for Paraguay. From Caniggia, laid back for Carlos Enrique, who's very left-footed, of course. Paraguay able to come across and cover, and the clearance will be made by Riverola. And it was Cristaldo who got the last booking, so the referee, to be fair, we didn't get a shot of it, but he was booked, Cristaldo. Caniggia forward, well taken down by Rodriguez, who's exciting when he steps forward like that, but he didn't round it off in the grand manner.
Well, he is the one player in the Argentinian team who just find himself some space.
Our coverage of the South American Championships brought to you in association with Lucasade Sport. It's 0-0, it's 1-0, Argentina and Paraguay. The 1 goal scored by Batistuta for Argentina in the first half. Here is that man. Not seen as much of him in the second half yet, but he's one of those players he can drift out of a game for 10 minutes, and then when he comes in to great purpose. Those are often the most dangerous players.
Yes,
I used to think that about Jimmy Greaves. You didn't see him for 40 minutes and he'd scored twice.
They seem to be at their most dangerous when they go quiet.
Yes. Paraguay. They've had perhaps the greater possession in this half. First shot that's come in maybe, way over the top as it turned out from Gonzalez. Gonzalez, the oldest man in the side at 30. Very experienced. He got sent off in the Libertadores Cup final against Colo-Colo. The goal-kicking duties left to Sergio Vazquez. Oof, dear, not quite sure why, although he's found a colleague. Rather different. A lot of movement down there on the Paraguayan bench. So maybe the coach, Carlos Kisa, is thinking of a change. Well, they've certainly enjoyed a better half than they did in the first.
They've opened up quite well, John.
And, again, we apologise for what we hope is a brief loss of picture. It was from Concepcion. There goes Carlos Enrique, cutting out defenders with that run. Eventually blotted out, and it means he's got to get back sharply now. Fine tackle. Good tackle, that one. Clean, just the way it should have been. And here they come, and this is where they're dangerous on these breaks. Caniggia runs straight into the defender, gets the ball back, however. He really is going nowhere now, except towards our camera lens. Argentina 1, Paraguay 0. A goal by Batistuta, and in fact 2 or 3 minutes after Batistuta's goal they might well have had it at 2-0. But Caniggia failed to play a ball into the path of the top scorer in this competition. But Paraguay have obviously picked up quite a bit since that goal. They've changed their tactics, they're getting more men forward. The danger being, of course, they might get caught on the break again.
Well, that's right, John.
Oh, good ball forward. This is an excellent ball, and cutting the angle. Goycochea getting across there. It's a lovely ball from Gonzalez.
You see that what happens is they have no alternative. I mean, if they're going to get something out of this game, they've got to go forward and get players forward. That's a nice through ball there. Just a little bit too heavy.
But if he cut it back, number 10 you see in your picture, Monzon was in the perfect position to strike. And he's got 3 goals already, so he knows the way to the net. Here they are still. More encouraging moments these for Paraguay. Well, that will be a throw-in, won by Vazquez, the defender from Ferro Carril.
You see, you know, at the back of your mind, and obviously the Paraguayan defender will know that people like Caniggia and Batistuta, they only need half a chance to get a goal. So you're throwing people forward and you're trying to get this equaliser and you're trying your best. But at the back of your mind, you know, you just don't want to get caught again. If it becomes 2-0, it's the end of the game.
Certainly would be, especially you've got to remember Argentina have not conceded a goal yet in these competitions. Mind you, that was the first one Paraguay had let in when Batistuta scored, and away we come again with Rodriguez. There's a bit more pace about this movement. Basualdo supporting as the overlapping fullback down the right. Oh dear. Certainly the combination then failed to deliver, but Ruggeri gets in. He's the strong man once more. Now this is more promising. Rodriguez with that wide ball for Caniggia. Is there anything on the end of this one? It could be. Simeone gets the second. The touch, the mere touch of the instant. And Diego Simeone sends Argentina's fans into ecstasy. It's 2-0 here against Paraguay, who surely will not come back from this.
Just what we said, a lovely ball from Rodriguez inside the fullback. Caniggia's onto it. And he does the right thing this time. He plays it in early, one touch. And obviously it's a difficult ball to deal with. There's defenders there, but it's at the back of defenders. And anybody can just get a touch, as Simeone did, and then it's in the net.
His first goal of the South American Championships. Simeone it is. There's the touch. The goalkeeper Chilavert can do little about it.
I don't think that Simeone got a touch on that, John. I think it was a defender who knocked that one in. The defender and the goalkeeper.
Well, it'll be certainly interesting. I think we'll probably see it again. Simeone, I have no doubt, will claim it.
Of course he will. He was in there fighting for it. He forced it. Why shouldn't he claim it?
It doesn't matter in a way, because it's 2-0 now. Just what you've been saying, Don, that while Paraguay were coming up, committing themselves, they had to do it, but there was that threat always that Argentina, with the players to do it, would break away and score a second. It's exactly what has happened. Sets us up, mind you, still, because Paraguay have got to put even more into it now. They'll redouble their efforts. And who knows, there could be further goals in this encounter. 2-0 it is. Suarez for Paraguay, trying to battle his way past Astrada, and eventually committing the sin of bringing Enrique down. That will be a free kick. And Argentina very, very happy with life at the moment. When you look at their record so far, Venezuela 3-0, Chile 1-0, and now they lead here by 2-0 against Paraguay. It means that they've scored 7 times without replying these championships, and that's a pretty good record.
They know what they're about, John, obviously. They know if they keep things tight, with the quality of these two front players, they've only got to keep things tight, and they know every now and again there's a good chance they're going to get a goal.
You can tell I didn't get my O-level in mathematics. It's 6 times, not 7. Here they come again looking for a 7th. In all.
You see, the Paraguayans are pushing forward, but you can't see where their goal's going to come from. You can't see who's going to do it for them.
They had the wooden good chance, didn't they, when the ball was cut back across the face of goal, and they just couldn't get in on the end of it. Again, it's knocked out by Ruggeri. And on the break again. Nicked inside from Caniggia. Oh, and this time, Batistuta unable to deliver the goods. Flicked over the top of the crossbar. And you'd have backed him there in view of his recent record.
That's
Again,
right.
they were caught on the break. Caniggia, the perfect pass.
Well, he does well there, gets his head up this time, plays it, just doesn't play it right and early enough. He plays it with the outside of his right foot, but he doesn't reach there quickly enough for Batistuta. He just slows down a little bit there, and he has to rush it, sticks it over the top.
Funny enough, Batistuta seemed to just slip before he got the shot in as well. Maybe just lost a touch in momentum. There's Carlos Enrique defending to good purpose. And again, it will go back to Goycochea. 2-0 then, goals from Batistuta and Simeone. Argentina are in the driving seat. And it means that if it stays this way, Paraguay will then have to beat Chile in the last match for them to go through. But a victory here for Argentina will put them virtually certainly through. Bearing in mind they too have one final game to play against Peru. Venezuela already on their way home after their 5-1 defeat tonight in their final game. Here goes Luis Monzon. Scorer of 3 goals already in the championships, and here's a shot coming in and whipping wide of Goycochea's right hand upright. Fair effort.
He seems to have the ability, Monzon, when he gets a ball, he can pick something up in midfield and run it there back for him, play balls into his front players. He seems to have the creative ability to create at least a shot at goal.
Yes, he looks the likeliest one to break the deadlock for Paraguay, but they're 2 behind. They trail against Argentina. Argentina, who will suggest they are long overdue a Copa America triumph, having gone 32 years without one. But Paraguay on the attack. Too many blue and white shirts around, however. And I would have thought that Alfio Basile will be very well pleased at the moment with the way things are going, even though his side is doing most of the defending at this moment. Cross coming in, and Goycochea stretching, able to gather it in, bowls it out, and every time Argentina's offside this time. Every time Argentina break now, the crowd getting behind them, and the crowd that in the first half was unsettled is now relishing this.
Yeah, well, they're playing exciting football as well, John. I mean, the Goycochea there, he's caught the ball, and within kind of 2 seconds, he's got it out to the right side of the pitch. It's then gone forward again into the space. You know, it's that type of thing that gets the people going.
Here they are once more. Rodriguez has made a difference tonight, I think. He's certainly done better than Latorre did in his appearances. So the coach will be well pleased with the changes he's made. Here's Rodriguez. Well, was he brought down? Did he fall? Was he pushed? He fell. And without a push.
And there's a smile on his face because he knew he did as well.
But you've got to say, Don, that the changes that have been made seem to have worked pretty well so far. Here's Astrada.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Rodriguez, on what I've seen, he's a lot better player than Latorre. No doubt about that.
And what about the other changes? Carlos Enrique coming in for Cravioto. And
Things
Zapata.
fairly even there. I've been quite impressed with Craviotti. I think young Zapata is a lot livelier than Franco.
All right.
A lot livelier.
Yep, he has. 21 minutes to go in Concepcion.
They don't know how to mark Rodriguez. They've got no idea how to mark him. He's the only. He picks balls up, and there's no one around.
We've certainly seen plenty of him, haven't we? He seems to have done a lot tonight. Exciting prospect, Leonardo Rodriguez. Scored 6 league goals for his club San Lorenzo last season. Substitute in both previous matches against Venezuela and Chile. Given his head tonight, and he's certainly taken his chance very well indeed. Ooh, and they're getting themselves into bother, and they might be punished here. Caniggia can go on and make it 3. Caniggia is still there. Fine stop, but it's in the net. 3-0 for Argentina, and the man who claims the goal is Astrada. Wild celebrations now, and Argentina, who won their first match 3-0, look like winning this one by at least 3-0 as well. Caniggia did so much here. He checked beautifully there. It looked as though he was going to score. Fine stop by Chilevert. Nothing they could do about Astrada's follow-up.
And to be honest, John, I mean, Astrada is the anchor man in midfield. He's done well to get forward. They're playing so well now. Keeper made a good save, but the follow-up was super.
Well, he's a pleased young man, isn't he? Argentina delighted. Again, vindication of the team selection of Alfio Basile.
These new young players are doing well for Argentina.
And they are a much more exciting side than they were 12 months ago.
He sits there in front of the back four, Astrada, and he backs things up, and there he's expressed himself and come forward. Same with Zapata.
I think it's a little bit late, but Paraguay's coach has brought on Miguel Sanabria. We got a goal for him in the last match, but that was a very different kettle of fish against Venezuela. And a free kick here for Argentina, and to be honest, you can see them going on and getting another goal now. A bit like the previous match here this evening, where one side got firmly on top, the other side caved in a little bit, and Paraguay are in danger of doing that.
But when you're chasing the game like Paraguay are having to chase the game, obviously you're going to leave space. And if you leave spaces all the time, people like Caniggia and Batistuta will find those spaces.
Yeah, and they are still in possession, stroking it around contemptuously almost now. As Fernando Gamboa warms up on the touchline, can't mistake him with the ponytail. Astrada, the goal scorer, the man who got the third one, battling for it, losing it, getting the free kick, however.
He's the new Ozzy Ardiles.
Astrada, yes.
Yes.
Yep. Plays in a very similar fashion.
Just getting everybody playing around him, just giving it simple, being available, getting it back, giving it to someone else.
And getting the odd goal.
And in this case, yes, today.
Sanabria on for Gonzalez. So we have two Sanabrias out there now. Vidal wearing 6 and Miguel wearing 16. Free kick, however, for Argentina, who still look to bring Gamboa on. Player from Newell's Old Boys. You'll remember him at Wembley in the 2-2 draw with England.
Fabian Basualdo e ingresa con el número 13 Fernando Gamboa.
And the free kick taken. Ruggeri. Did that ball go out? Carlos Enrique kept it in. But loses it now in the tackle. Paraguay have an enormous task ahead of them, however. But of course, all not lost totally for them. 3 down on the night, but they do have one game still to play against Chile. It was Basualdo who went off. Argentina very much in possession here. And now they have scored 7 goals without replying 3 matches, and that's an impressive statistic in any circumstances. Paraguay looking to prize them open just once, maybe. That was a nice ball. Support here for Guiland. Now it's Peralta. That was a bit pedestrian, to be honest, and it gives Caniggia the chance to come. He's not pedestrian ever. Again, they look to make progress up that right side, and the free kick awarded. And that one was a bit of a dive in. I do like the way they go and help them to their feet again.
That's something that perhaps the coach should be aware of. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't sub Batistuta or Caniggia, because what he won't want is an injury now.
That's right.
If one of those two goes, he'll be aware that in the next couple of matches he needs them.
It'd be a good time to come off. One man who has gone off is Peralta of Paraguay, to be replaced by Cardoso. But here again come Argentina, going for a fourth maybe. There's a good effort. On the left foot, from this fellow we've been talking about, Leonardo Rodriguez. I would think everybody back in Argentina will be well pleased with his performance.
Well, he plays a nice little 1-2 with Batistuta, who's struggling, knocks him in the end, and he knocks it over the bar again. If he can get that shooting on the target. I mean, he's really enjoying himself, John. I mean, I would think he's loving this game. He's wandering around in midfield. Nobody wants to pick him up. He's knitting it all together for Argentina.
Yes, he doesn't look like somebody who's playing only his third international match. And here we have Flash Junta on the Argentine bench, who's going to get a taste of the action, I think.
It's too late now, but they should have tied him down ages ago. Rodriguez, they should have tied him down a couple of games.
Much too late. And that header on won't get through to anybody other than Goycochea. Goycochea, who really made his name 12 months ago in Italia 90, and a number of penalty saves, having taken over from Neri Pompidou after poor old Pompidou's dreadful mistake against Cameroon and then a broken leg. He really did have a nightmare. But Goycochea's come in and really established himself as the number one. Ahead of people like Cancelaric, Navarro Montoya, who could have been chosen. That one's drifting aimlessly inside the Argentine penalty area. Paraguay still trying, to their credit. They've not given up. Ball touched out of play by Simeone, scorer of Argentina's second goal. So the throw-in by Silvio Suarez. And Astrada, the scorer of Argentina's third goal, which really has clinched the points for them, is replaced by Junta. Don't think Astrada will mind too much coming off now. The goal really was a bonus for him.
He does a super job for them, though, John. He stops that ball into the feet. He's in a position where he plays in front of his two centre-backs. And every time the opponents try and play a ball into one of the strikers' feet, he's reading it and cutting it out.
The pass was cut out there by Ruggeri. Paraguay 3 goals down then. Still coming and giving their all. It's been a sort of a game performance, but they've never looked like scoring a goal. Having just said that, they might get one here. Goycochea ends in the back of the net. Nice little header. It was perhaps just going to drop under the crossbar. He certainly had to make the save. It's the first time they've really threatened.
It was a nice far post cross. The new player who'd come on, Cambon, was out jumped, and it was back into the middle, and it could have looped over the top of Goycochea.
Cardoso's header. Corner kick for Paraguay. There haven't been too many of those in this game. Goycochea comes, can't get there. Goal for Paraguay. They've got one back. And that really has to go down to goalkeeping error on behalf of Goycochea. I think it's one of those big defenders who's got in there. Well, it might well be Cristaldo, I think.
Comes out in a crowded box, obviously, and he's reaching for it in the end, look, and can't get there. And the player coming in challenges him, and he never got off his feet either, the keeper.
Well, the player who was taking a salute then was the substitute Cardoso. There it is, struck firmly into the net, and Cardoso is indeed the one credited with the goal. So Paraguay get themselves a goal, and that will lift their morale no end. It's Argentina 3, Paraguay 1. Cardoso, the substitute from St. Gallen. Well, it means we're going to have a fight to the finish maybe, or will Argentina come and look for a fourth goal? Whatever, it helps Paraguay's cause no end if it comes down to goal difference with the match against Chile coming up. But don't forget they do have 4 points. And Goycochea this time does hold on. Some derisory cheering.
It's good goalkeeping though, that's what you've got to do. I mean, if he comes out and make a mistake.
Yes.
He's got to come for the next one at least. If he doesn't, he's in trouble.
Oh, Carlos Enrique's given it away. Paraguay could have got a second there. Really poor defending from Enrique. He let them in. There were two of them there, and that could well, if that had gone to 3-2, what a finish we would have had. There's a hole in that net, by the way, by the look of it.
It just feels as though the Argentinians at the back have gone a bit slack, John.
Yes, they've gone to sleep a bit here. Look at that again. They were too slow to react. And Paraguay willing to grab the initiative and try and get back into this one. Oh, here again, excellent running. And this time Batistuta trying to hold off the defender, and he's gone all the way with him. That's Riverola. Might just win it back here. And he does, in fact. Here's a cross, which is dealt with admirably. But once again, it was Rodriguez who made the first break. He's had a super game.
Outstanding player, John.
Still Paraguay coming and looking for a second goal. Good tricky work, edge of the area, and Junta makes his first contribution as substitute, and a telling one. Batistuta, he got the first goal. It was a cracker as well in the first half, just when it looked like being a pretty drab affair. Now through break through the middle. This surely might be it. Caniggia round the keeper, finishes it off, and that is good night to Paraguay. And Caniggia, so dangerous, exploits the mistake, and Argentina restore a 3-goal advantage. And it's turning into a feast for the fans here. They saw 6 goals in the first game in Concepcion this evening. They've seen another 5 now. The defender slipped. Caniggia takes advantage, round Chilavert and into the far corner. An excellent strike, Caniggia's second of the championships, and Argentina are home and dry at 4-1.
Once he's on his way, John, when he's running with the ball.
As Batistuta takes it, I think he'd like to get a second goal in the match, but he won't get on the end of that ball. From Caniggia, who does the right thing, however. Simeone gives him it back. Lovely football here. Caniggia just unable to round it all off with a 5th one or with a good cross. But some excellent football. Some
nice football around the Paraguayan edge of the box. Nice little touches.
The sort of thing we never saw from Argentina last year.
Well, obviously they're full of confidence now, John. I mean, when you're playing as well as they're playing, and doing all, and the running off the ball is superb as well. Everything is going well.
Yeah, Batistuta was calling for it too. Shows everybody wants the ball. Oopsie daisy. The referee will come on and sort out this bit of acting. A few Oscars being awarded here. Carlos Enrique and Jose Cardozo. Simeone sort of stumbled, really, I think, there. Doesn't appear to be a great deal of contact, though. So
the referee said it was a scissor tackle. I mean,
sissy tackle, did you say?
Yes, yeah. He made a shape with his 2 arms as though he's making a scissor movement.
Oh dear, look at that. There's a pat on the head. Get up, please, and over you go. Argentina lead 4-1. That's the important statistic. And good value for it as well. What it does mean is that we'll show you Group A at the end of this game, but Argentina will go to the top of this group. They'll have 6 points at the top of Group A, and they've scored 8 goals against only 1 conceded. Paraguay's goal difference has taken a bit of a hammering tonight. They've now scored 7 against 4. Chile, they also have 4 points, and Chile have 4 points and a goal difference of 6-3. So I would think the Chilean fans will be absolutely thrilled to bits with Argentina's performance.
Yes.
It also will demoralise Paraguay a little bit before the last game against Chile.
I would think the South American bookmakers, John, have made them firm favourites now, Argentina, to win this competition.
Yes. And I would have thought that Chile have become favourites to go through from the group with them. And that Paraguay and Peru will follow Venezuela home. Well, the referee pointing towards the Paraguayan goal, so it will be a free kick here for Argentina. Can they get a fifth? Every goal helps. It all helps the confidence, it helps the statistics in terms of goal difference. The whole championship could be sorted out on goal difference and goals scored. And this is the next opportunity that Argentina will have to add to their tally. Hoisted into the middle. Out inside the last 60 seconds. Carlos Enrique there to make the tackle. Sanabria. Miguel Sanabria, the substitute, leaving it this time for Suarez. Paraguay themselves would like a second, but they lose possession in a dangerous sort of area. This is where they can be exploited. But will be belted straight back upfield by Ruggeri, the Argentine captain. He'll be a very happy player. Argentina haven't lost with him in the captaincy role. I would think that both coach and captain will be well pleased with Argentina's performance tonight. And there'll be celebrations back in Buenos Aires.
Oh, I think so.
On the other hand, it'll be fairly quiet back in Paraguay. The ball is lofted rather hopefully in. No great purpose behind that cross. Goycochea spotted that fact, claimed the ball. And the final whistle not long delayed now. So Argentina have kept their record of never having lost to Paraguay in the South American Championships. It'll be their 14th victory in 17 matches against them. And so many of these South American games seem to have those sort of statistics where there is an Indian sign over one side. Don't have the belief in themselves, maybe. Oh, that looks fairly theatrical too. Free kick given for the foul on Zapata. And Ruggeri, I'm sure, will say, come on, don't do anything silly now. More important to keep it at 4-1 than make a mistake. Simeone. Still come forward with purpose, but at the end of the day, it's been a convincing performance, this one, from Argentina. And without question, Don, a quick comment, a deserved victory.
Oh, easily. I mean, a super performance on the night. You've got to give them credit for that. I mean, once they got it going, I mean, the first half an hour of the game was ordinary. But once the goals started to go in, they got confidence and played the type of football that they can play.
And at the end of the day, it's Argentina who have beaten Paraguay by 4-1.
SCREENSPORT. More sport, more choice. It's the battle of the motorcycle titans, and you can follow Pro Superbike 91 with round 3 from Luxembourg, Tuesday at 6 on SCREENSPORT.
Weekend Live goes into overdrive Saturday on SCREENSPORT. At 3, the Flying Phillies tackle 1.5 miles in the Irish Oaks from the Curragh. Power Sports International puts you in the driver's seat 45 minutes later. There's a track and field extravaganza at Crystal Palace as Europe's best prepare for the World Championships at the Parcel Force Games. We rip into round 6 of the European Rallycross Championships in Sweden at 6 before Betsy King shoots for a hat-trick of victories in the Women's US Golf Open an hour later. And then at 10 minutes to 9, we bring you a football double from the Copa América. Defending South American champions Brazil meet Colombia and Ecuador tackle Bolivia in this showcase of soccer. Today's Weekend Live Bonanza.